Breaking. Exclusive. This is one of those nights when the air changes in Los Angeles and you can feel it before the headlines hit. A message just came down from the very top, and it isn't a whisper. It's a flare fired over the whole league. The Lakers are thinking about the next global face of this franchise. And the name echoing from offices to barstools is Luka Doncic. Read that again. Let it land. When Jeannie Buss sets the conversation next to Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, she's not playing with pretty metaphors. She's framing the scale of what comes next, telling the world that the standard in LA remains the standard everywhere. And look, if you value straight talk like I do, here it is. The idea isn't just good basketball. It's big picture. It's legacy. It's the face on the billboard you notice on your drive down Figueroa, and the game that actually wins you a series in May. If you love this team the way we do around here, hit subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report. Drop a like so this message travels, and buckle in. Because tonight we're talking about ambition with a capital A and how the Lakers plan to turn it into reality. Now, basketball first. Because the 50 faithful who grew up with forum lights and radio voices don't buy hype without the game behind it. Doncic is a pace governor. He walks into the half court and points with his eyes, and everything slows to his beat. No chase the rim sprinting to look busy. It's angles, timing, footwork, patience. Put him in a basic high pick and roll, and it becomes a lie detector. The big steps up and he threads the pocket pass. The corner helps, and he lasers a skip. The help stays home, and he takes the mid-range like it owes him money. He isn't just a scorer. He's a possession engineer. In the playoffs, when the game turns into mini-crises every 2 minutes, that engineering saves you. It's the difference between losing by 2 and stretching a 5-point cushion into a quiet 12. Now translate that to LA basketball. Put Luka next to a star big who protects the rim and eats glass. And you get the two-man game that survives deep rounds. Screen, snake, seal, pocket, finish, whistle, repeat. Give him 2 wings who understand the lift and drift dance and can shoot clean with their feet set. And you get geometry that punishes greed. Add a guard who can handle second units without panic and also live off the ball. And you have the difference between nice talent and made basketball. This is the craft that would age well in Los Angeles, where the lights amplify your best habits and expose your worst ones. But this conversation isn't just basketball chalk. It's legacy architecture, and Jeannie Buss knows that blueprint by heart. The Lakers didn't become the Lakers by accident. They became the team that turned stars into landmarks and fans into families. Kobe brought a generation with him to every arena in the world. LeBron layered championships, community, and enterprise into a single living thing. When Jeannie talks about a global face again, she's speaking to that exact vision. A player who sells out a Tuesday in January and also sells the idea of LA to a kid watching from a kitchen TV 10 time zones away. Luka has that kind of gravitational pull. International play taught him stagecraft and composure. The NBA taught him the grind. Cameras don't rattle him. Traps don't hurry him. Big moments don't make him blink. That's why this comparison isn't sacrilege. It's structure. It's how you define the scale of the job in this city. And because this is Los Angeles, we don't pretend the business side doesn't exist. A franchise face is a human broadcast tower. Social clips from practice become nightly rituals. Mixed up bits become teaching tapes for kids who don't miss a rep. A late game here becomes morning coffee in Europe and midnight group chats in Asia. Jersey drops aren't just sales. They're identity-limited runs tied to team history, collabs with local artists, charity capsules that turn purchases into newly painted neighborhood courts. Sponsors don't manufacture that electricity. They follow it if you protect the culture and keep the partnerships honest. That's how a face of the Lakers turns revenue into stories and stories into community. But let's come back to the court, because banners hang on stops and half-court answers. You welcome a gravitational star like Luka. You don't waste gravity. You space the floor honestly. You hire a staff that grants freedom without muddying roles. You invest in bigs who screen like linemen and catch through contact. You develop wings who guard first and then catch shoot without hitch. You insist the second unit runs structure, not just vibes, so your star sits for 6 real minutes without the building feeling like a storm. The formula isn't complicated. The discipline is. And the beauty of Luka's game is that it rewards discipline with easy points that feel like found money. Now, the comparisons that get emotional need respect. Kobe was obsession, turned into a jumper and a standard. LeBron was gravity married to governance. He didn't just play for teams, he organized them. Luka is his own flavor craft over jets, angles over chaos, a heavy pour of footwork, shoulder fakes, and cross-court lasers that turn defenders into spectators. The thread tying them is control. In this city, control is the coin that buys you patience on a cold night and faith in a Game 5. That's why a global face conversation isn't an empty billboard exercise. It's a statement about who dictates the temperature of every possession. Media glare in LA? Not a flashlight, a heat lamp. Every quote becomes a segment, every miss a referendum. To wear the crown here, you need thick skin and a short memory. Lose on Sunday, make art on Tuesday. Win 5 in a row, show up to film study like you dropped one. When Jeannie leans into the global face idea, she's also talking about the stamina to carry noise and still find joy. If you watch Luka long enough, you've seen the grin after a tough bucket and the arm around a teammate after a tough whistle. That matters in this market. Locker rooms are organisms, and new alphas change oxygen. That's not bad. That's physics. Clarity fixes friction. Spell out roles, pay off effort with minutes, communicate like adults. The best Laker teams were meritocracies wrapped in showtime. The headliner led, but the work got the microphone. A star who empowers the seventh man and listens to the assistant with the obscure scouting edge will own a room fast. That's where a craft-first lead guard makes life easier. He's not hunting 30 shots to feel important. He's hunting the right possession to make the whole thing sing. For the 50 faithful who have seen every era, here's the Barstool translation. Doncic is the driveway closer. He was never the fastest kid, but he was always on time. He's the guy who ended arguments with bank-in twos and shrugged. He's not panicked by end-of-clock chaos because he created it on purpose. And when the whistle swallows in the fourth, he goes to footwork and touch. Not low-percentage hero stuff you regret on the ride home. Late game sets? Keep it simple and ruthless. Clear a side. Involve your best screener. Let Luka snake into the elbow while the weak side lifts, then punish whatever help flashes first. If the defense overcommits, it's a catch-and-shoot 3 with feet set. If they stay home, it's a soft floater or a foul. If they load up early, it's a skip to the corner that lands like a glass of water in August. This is why stars who control pace are playoff machines. They make the defense wrong on schedule. Training camp is where that culture gets stitched in. First in, last out is a cliche until your best player does it daily and rookies copy. Film sessions where the star asks about the opponent's third option. Contagious. Assistants running quizzes on end-of-clock counters. That's how 12 guys know the 2 actions you'll trust in Game 6. Doncic's game is built on reads. A camp built on details would amplify him. It's not about reinventing basketball. It's about rehearsing the best 5 things until they show up on command. The business chessboard is the grown-up in the room. You don't get moves like this with shortcuts. You need timing, leverage, assets, patience. You keep powder dry without wasting seasons. You protect cap flexibility like it's a family heirloom. You hit picks. You develop role players who fit next to a heliocentric star corner shooters who guard, long wings who screen and switch, bigs who catch in traffic and make the extra pass. South Bay isn't a storage unit. It's a laboratory. You don't block growth with clunky contracts that look cute in December and unplayable in May. That's how you stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. Community matters too. because faces of the Lakers don't just win games. They belong to the city. School visits in the Valley, clinics in South Bay, quiet hospital drop-ins, conversations with alumni that turn into private master classes. That's where a new chapter earns old-school respect. One thing about Lakers lore, the city tutors you if you listen. Old forum stories surface in the weight room. Staples memories get traded like baseball cards. The crowd pops at exactly the right beat and reminds you that you're part of a living thing bigger than a stat sheet. Paint a spring night with me the way this city dreams. The building hums before warm-ups. Camera flashes pop as players jog through layup lines. First quarter is a study in patience. The other side traps at the logo. Luka drags the second defender toward the sideline, flips the floor with one pass, and a corner three lands with that cold water snap. Second quarter is craft free throws, floaters, pocket passes. Third is stubborn defense and chess. Fourth is a two-possession game with 90 seconds left and everyone standing. And then it's the read. Bait the help, slot cut, lay it in. Calm jog back as the building shakes like it remembers how this is supposed to feel. Maybe you're thinking, keep your feet on the ground until there's paperwork. You're right. Nobody here is mixing dreams with delusion. The point tonight is the signal. You don't invoke the Kobe-LeBron orbit lightly. You do it to tell the basketball world that Los Angeles intends to set the market on star power and substance again. That we're not waiting for eras to find us. We're building the kind you can recognize from a highway billboard and a box score. And because honesty matters, here are the hard parts, laid out clean. Opponents will hunt matchups and dare your worst defender to sink you. Back-to-backs make hamstrings and tempers tight. Media turns subplots into main plots. The fix isn't magic. It's grown-up. Depth that plays. Second units that survive. Defense taught like language class habits. Footwork, help rules, no hero freelancing. Rotations that feel fair, minutes that are earned, schemes that make sense to players who can explain them back to the staff. If you discipline the boring stuff, the big stuff looks inevitable. There's also the sponsorship and merch conversation that matters because it funds the margins. Done right. It's culture, not cash grab. Local artists on limited jerseys. Heritage nights that tell LA's layered story. Charity capsules funding court renovations east of downtown. Partnerships that add to the soul of the arena instead of sucking oxygen from it. A global face navigates that without faking it. He shows up because it's his city, not because it's on a calendar. And on the other side of the ocean, fans feel the difference. That's when a Tuesday night clip becomes a family tradition in another language. So, where do I land as a Laker fan who has stood on Figueroa during parades and stared at the ceiling after first-round exits? I like the ambition. I like the honesty. I like that Jeannie is talking about leadership and scale, not just highlights. My opinion? Keep building a team any real superstar would want to lead defense that bites, shooters who compete, a staff that teaches. Protect flexibility like it's gold so you can move when the door opens. And if a genuine chance arrives to bring in a player of Luka's caliber, you move with courage and discipline, no panic, no shortcuts, no mortgaging the future to win a headline. If it doesn't happen, you don't sulk. You keep building a culture so good the next star chooses you on purpose. Now it's your turn. If the chance became real, do you push all your chips in for a global face who controls the game like a film editor? Or do you ride the internal growth wave and wait for a different door to open? Drop your take in the comments. Be bold, be specific, because this community is smarter than the noise. And when we talk hoops here, we do it like family. And if this breakdown felt like a conversation you'd have after a win outside the arena, share it with a friend who still rocks the old gold 24 or the fresh 23. Nights like this are why we love this team. Because Los Angeles isn't afraid to dream big. And when the dream meets the details, the whole league has to pay attention.